Hello and welcome to this FPL pre-season form video with me, Holly Shand. In this video, I'll be looking through the top performers so far during pre-season, and I'll also be creating an affordable 11 of the best players from pre-season and also having a look at a budget 11 as well. I want to know who has caught your eye in pre-season, so do let me know in the comments, and if you haven't done so already, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Now, before we get into the form players, I just want to speak to you quickly about Team Fantasy Football, the new concept in fantasy games. It's a bit like FPL, but instead of choosing players, you choose teams. You can pick any formation that you want and your team will score you points depending on how they perform in game, and this is all dependent on goals scored and conceded, clean sheets, and whether the team wins. Obviously, the attacking players get more points for goals, and as you move further back, the defensive players pick up more points for clean sheets. You get to choose a captain every week as well, and the captain points are doubled. Here's the team that I'm going to be lining up with for game week 1, trying to target some of the key teams that I think can perform well. I think Manchester City away at West Ham, it's a very good opening fixture for them. Liverpool away at Fulham as well, and of course Spurs at home to Southampton. Now, Team Fantasy Football is absolutely free to play, so if you hit the link in the description of this video, that'll take you to the website where you can get signed up, and I'll also leave the league code in there so that you can take me on in the Team Fantasy Football mini league. So having a look then at the pre-season form 11, and there's a lot to know and a lot of teams that are performing really well. In terms of goalkeepers, it's looking a little bit bleak at the moment in terms of clean sheets, but we do tend to see that anyway. I've picked out Aaron Ramsdale just because Arsenal have been on a good run of form, and Ramsdale has kept a clean sheet in pre-season. Looking further forward, a few players that have caught my eye. Trent Alexander-Arnold has got 2 assists already, 14 goal involvements last season. Hopefully he can emulate that in this campaign. I've also picked out Mykolenko at Everton. He's got a goal and an assist in pre-season. The only downside is that Everton have been conceding a lot of goals, but it just shows you his attacking prowess. And also at the back, I've got Cedric in there with a couple of assists for Arsenal. Now, do note that Takahiro Tomiyasu hasn't actually played any pre-season minutes yet for Arsenal. He's had a little bit of an injury. He is back in pre-season training now, but certainly Cedric is doing very well in pre-season, so it could be difficult to displace. So if you are on Tomiyasu in your latest draft, you may be wise to look elsewhere. Moving into the midfield now then, and Pedro Neto for Wolves has 3 goals and an assist this pre-season, one of the budget favourites for the season ahead, and rightly so given this form. There is concern at Wolves that Jimenez is going to be out for the first 8 weeks of the season with an injury. The upside of that is that we could say Neto playing further forward. The downside is that Wolves were a team that was struggling for goals anyway, so to lose their key striker is going to dent their chances. So keep an eye on whether Wolves look to sign anyone else in the transfer window. Now, I've also got Heung-min Son in there. The Spurs attackers have been in incredible form, so anyone that's not got Kane or Son in their draft for game week 1 will be very worried looking at these figures. 2 goals and 4 assists for Son in pre-season, and that link up with Harry Kane, the most prolific goal-scoring duo in the Premier League, looks like they could start the season back with a bang with that home game against Southampton. Now, another player that's been on a lot of fantasy managers' radars this pre-season has been Aston Villa's Leon Bailey. He missed a lot of last season with injury. He's been priced really kindly at $5 million for the start of this season, and obviously Aston Villa have got a great run of fixtures to start the season. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists already, so at $5 million he could be an absolute steal, and you know, he could be a great enabler for those managers going with a freemium, triple premium attackers to be able to afford that, having Bailey as your midfield slot. That could really work. And then the player who's the captain of this team, who's been in the best form of anyone pre-season, is Will Zaha, 4 goals and 3 assists, 7 attacking returns in total. Really impressive numbers from him. Now, Crystal Palace do have a tricky start to the season. However, don't let that put you off, because Zaha is an absolute pest. He's the most fouled player in the Premier League. He's on penalties. We've seen him do it time and time again against clubs like Liverpool and Manchester City, scoring against them, taking advantage, getting in behind. So do not be put off by the poor fixtures for Zaha. 7 million. No, talk in the transfer window whether Zaha's staying at Palace or not. So that full pre-season and not having that transfer window speculation could really help him going into the new campaign. Now, this is a 3-4-3 formation. The nature of it, with the lack of clean sheets in pre-season, it is the attacking players that are coming out on top. And as I've already alluded to, that Spurs duo doing really well in pre-season. Harry Kane, 5 goals and 1 assist already in pre-season. If you don't own him, why not? He could absolutely punish you. I've also gone with Darwin Núñez, who scored 4 goals in a single game for Liverpool. I was very much on the fence of his chances for the new campaign. However, with those 4 goals, I think it's very likely that he could hit the ground running. Jota currently got an injury as well, so I think, we've got a little bit of game time security from Núñez right now. However, I do still prefer Luis Diaz, who is a midfielder and priced $1 million cheaper. And then the final player in this pre-season Form 11 is Arsenal's Gabriel Jesus. Currently flagged, got a little bit of a dead leg in the last game, but 4 goals and 1 assist is a really impressive start to his career at Arsenal. We don't know if he's on penalties yet, but he certainly doesn't need them because he's really hit the ground running, and it's quite an affordable 11 that you can get in there for your FPL team. Moving on now then to the pre-season budget 11. So the players in this squad are all priced at 6 million or below. Hopefully we can find some enablers in here that have emerged during pre-season that can carry their form into the season as the main. However, you do find that, some of the key starting 11 players may not have been involved in the early parts of pre-season, giving, the squad players the minutes, the opportunity to get off the ground. However, we may see that the regulars come back in. However, a really good start to this season for Dean Henderson, who signed at Nottingham Forest. A couple of clean sheets in pre-season, which is really encouraging for managers that are looking for a £4.5 million goalkeeper. He could be one to watch. Further forward in the defence, Kieran Trippier, really great start to the season at Newcastle United. We didn't see much from him last season because, unfortunately, shortly after signing, he was hit with an injury which kept him out for most of the remainder of the season. 3 assists already in pre-season. I mentioned him already in my set pieces takers video earlier in this pre-season. He does dominate the direct free kicks and corners, so it's going to be a big route to points. And we know how Newcastle United do attack from set pieces, particularly. They've got a lot of players in there with a lot of height aerially, which does help them. So I think, we're going to see quite a lot of assists from Trippier this pre-season and the season as a main. 5 million, he could be a bargain, but there are some tricky fixtures to contend with for Trippier, so you may need to choose him as part of a rotation. Looking elsewhere, I mentioned Mykolenko in the main 11. He makes it into the budget 11 here as well. And another player who is emerged is Patterson at Everton. 2 assists for him in pre-season. He's been getting minutes because Coleman is injured. He's only 4 million as well. However, we don't know when Coleman's going to be back fit and in the 11. So that's something to keep an eye on. But as a 4 million option, Neco Williams is arguably, a safer route in if you do opt for not going with 5 at the back and need a 4 million defender. But Patterson could certainly be one to watch. Moving into the midfield then, some surprising names in here. First of all, we've got Almiron, Newcastle United, 4 goals in pre-season. I'm not absolutely convinced that he will be a certain starter in this Newcastle team as the season gets going, because they've got a lot of options in those attacking positions, but we do need to take note that he has had a very good start to pre-season. Gabriel Martinelli also in there, 1 goal and 3 assists from him in pre-season. It's been nice to see him getting minutes consistently again, and I think, Smith Rowe's got a little bit of an injury, so I think Martinelli will at least start the season as the go-to option in that Arsenal attack. And we did see him in game week 38 of last season take a penalty when Saka was on the pitch, so there's bags of potential from Martinelli in this Arsenal attack. I've mentioned Leon Bailey already. We've also got Dewsbury Hall at Leicester. He's had a little bit of a price increase this season. He's not the £4.5 million we had last campaign, but you know, he is nailed on in this Leicester attack on that left-hand side. 1 goal, 3 assists in pre-season. We did see his points potential a little bit sporadic last season, but Leicester finished the season really strongly, you know, scoring a lot of goals in their final 4 games. They haven't got Europe to contend with this season, so Dewsbury Hall could be one to watch. And I've obviously got Pedro Neto in there. Just make a note as well that at Wolves, Daniel Podence has also got 4 attacking returns this pre-season, and I actually think he's got the potential to play the false 9 role over Neto in the absence of Jimenez at the start of the season. Finally, looking up front, we've got Christian Benteke, 2 goals and 3 assists during pre-season. For him, a really solid start. The problem is there are a lot of options in that Crystal Palace attack, particularly in the forward line. We don't know how many minutes Benteke will see once the season gets going. And as I've already mentioned, a little bit of a tricky start to the season for Crystal Palace. And the final option, another one who I can't see getting that many minutes when the season started, is Daka at Leicester. 3 goals and an assist. However, Jamie Vardy's probably had a nice rest during pre-season, used sporadically, but when he comes back into the team for game week 1, he's likely to be a 90-minute man. So unfortunately, even though Daka's got the pre-season form, I don't think he's going to be an option for our FPL teams. That's it from me then. I would like to know though in the comments, who out of the budget 11 and the main form 11 will make your team for game week 1. If you've got any questions as well, do leave them in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. You'll see my mini league code on the screen. It'd be great to see as many of you as possible in there. And don't forget to check out that link in the description to Team Fantasy Football as well. A great new initiative this coming season. I'll be back very soon with another video updating you on my latest draft for game week 1. Bye for now.